Asante sana. Thank you so much for that great introduction and a warm welcome to say one or two. Daktari, my friend, Jonathan B. and your lovely wife and family, your colleagues, now I understand you graduated with a number of them from GISI, and the lecturers who are here, who participated in coaching to produce the product we celebrate tonight. Government officers, fellow leaders, ladies and gentlemen, servants of God, good evening. Mine will be very brief. I think all has been said. But I have two comments to make in conclusion. One, when I read the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, I think, reading from verse number 14 all the way, in Pauline theology, has some very interesting thoughts, but he mentioned some in a manner that it is like parable. He said, wake up, O you who sleeps, and the glory of God and the light of God shall shine on you. He went ahead to speak about walking circumspectively. He talked about redeeming the time, the days are evil, and the summary of it. When I was coming, my thoughts went round and round. Many times I have time to think because I don't have the luxury of walking around. So I engage the brain. When I thought of your story and where you have come from, I remembered three things reflecting from this scripture. When Paul said, redeem the time, it reminded me of a Chinese philosopher who mentioned that there are three things when they are gone, you will never recover them. Number one, time. People who have made the difference in the world. In history, I'm a student of history, are people who seized the time God has given them and the spirit of time has allowed them to enjoy. You struggled, made sure that you had a time. The second thing is opportunity. This Chinese said, men and women who have progressed in the world and made a difference are people who have seized their opportunities as they come. Many of us are regretting today when they had an opportunity to do what they could have done. Later on, konyor telia negure ndara. I wish I knew. You struggled 4 times. What was it that was driving you? Is a question that needs to be answered in your next book. What was it that was driving you? Somebody asked me, a young man, he told me, what is it that was driving you to struggle out of your disability to a level of ability? How did you do it? And what is it that was, I thought it was a very interesting question. May I transfer the same to you today? What made you struggle? And the final one, he said, words spoken. Once it has gone out, you can't recover them. So you must be very careful, seize the moment. I wish to congratulate you tonight with those thoughts. Thank you for seizing the moment. Even with all the challenges, you've made it. May God bless you. The second thing is that we are proud from the Christian community to have one of our men Christians who have grown and shown a determination without being ashamed of his faith. These days, I see some professionals, and they were youth in our camps. We preach to them. I've done the job for almost 50 years. And then I've retired. I've seen men grown from babies to adults, to fathers and mothers. But sometimes I get concerned when I went to Parliament and when I worked in other sectors in government, to see our own sons and daughters being ashamed to be a Christian. When they are asked, are you going to take an oath using the Bible or affirmation? Our brothers, the Muslims, they don't hesitate. They take the Quran. But our brothers, the Christians, they take affirmation. That says, I myself commit to be truthful. But there is a scripture that Paul gave, and I see one of the AIC churches written. They say, to know Christ and to make him known. If we are to be blessed, and this leads me to some thoughts tonight, and I'm glad Chris is here, that all civilizations that have collapsed in a period of 6,000 years, beginning from Mesopotamia, the Mesopotamian civilization, Egyptian, the Babylonian, the Grecian, the Persian and Romans. There are three things that has made the regimes to collapse. One is internal decay. When a country cannot sustain itself morally, it is a beginning of a collapse of that nation. Why the Western civilization is shaking now is because it is having a cultural collapse from within. The second thing that makes regimes comes down is the wrong policies in fiscal policy in the country, where you are not able to raise finances to meet your debts and meet your bills. You are on your way out. That is how countries in the world collapsed. And I want to appreciate, as a governor of Uasin Gishu County, that you have inculcated the concern of the county by bringing men of God to build the internal strength of your society. You know, when America removed God from their schools, removed God from their parliaments, removed God from their celebration. Today, when they are celebrating Easter, they are saying happy holidays. When they are celebrating Christmas, they are saying happy holidays. They have removed God from the Christmas tree and removed God from the celebration of Easter. I want to say this to our sons and daughters, my brothers and sisters. Do you want God to sustain? You want our country to be strong? You want your county to be strong? You want your communities to be strong? History witnesses that there's moral values and moral strength sustains a nation and sustains a generation. Kale lule bororiet ago lule met amunu nateta borit. When civilization begins to lose a social order, that particular people cannot be. Tonight, I want to congratulate you, my brother. Thank you for giving these men of God a position. Not to come and lead, but to put the flavor and a spiritual touch. I am so impressed that, like Professor Kamar said, you have brought the professional meeting together under your leadership. Very unique. Keep keeping on. Listen as to Dr. Chris, is a PS, explain what he understands about fiscal policy in managing the country. The only problem, Chris, has been your team have not come out blending analysis of the situation with the hope that we expect. The nation almost slipped into paralysis by analysis. We almost were paralyzed by analyzing and analyzing and analyzing, and the more we analyze, the more we think the option is to commit suicide. But the message you have given tonight is that you gave us the analysis and gave us sustainability with hope. That is what the country needs. I'm not a prophet, but sometimes I speak prophetically. I'm a job where you walk big york and lay jog age. Kumawas. Pali. Kingo tetei chito negi anan kapkirwoget negi tetei kokoito kandoinatet kokochi chito nekingen kole nomei kokimakongen kole nyoni ngecheret ole kiwo maingen. Ketetas kele senenam aramatian kingen kotitoib kotebendo serun sikosikyi kokureny mutai. Lakini mi Mungu barak nechomei tugul. Ngobut kandoindet kobutito emet. And I wish to tell you that history is full of a testimony and witness that any regime, even in its weakest moment, has the power to reduce a rich man to poverty. Umawagas nata. Magitakas shinigay baunat. Ogot na pa gupterbeb na wendi kabisa goluloti kotito magarion na nyitat karing motya tip ko kita bondo ko sabet. Me takas sige ile atatavambana mamuche ji system go tion matinye gotut amatinye met. Titeni wagabungush abi yutu ubik chekibo tai. Arai kumangas ko baisye ne Jehovah. In my final thoughts, allow me, I use the language because I'm speaking to a certain constituent. Boiboiyet ang nagisome bikab Kalenjin orik kibaunatet kakonyitech bikab Kenya En kenyisiek 60 kokonech boroindo mara ya pili kole biikab Kalenjin oribech. Ara kimache kesab keriny murenju komi tokwek chemitei yekiriche president nebo Kenya kimache ke deliveren kongoi arap Chelilim kaikonech itondo kele inambata somok kokaichutu kityo koi puu kimache as komong chitab kutit kuye kiu en kenyisiek chekibo tai kole chumbek huyo mtu wa masikio dirisha ninaamini yeye ngole wei ko wei. So we want our men and women, let us perform. Kot koi ke kainet nyo ko kaswae isayu amonyo koritu meko miki netako muwe kergei muren isoche. With those much remarks, I want to wish you every success in your administration. Ako supporten kabisa kay nagimache keisto you cannot have the cake and eat it at the same time. Kimache biik chemi county en county tugul chebo biikab Kalenjin ak Kenya megu officer ak iyegu contractor ak iyegu supplier koyai ne ronya chun alak chun kap chebomuy chemi olin tugul akele amache acher chepko amache anyoru kei nekikasupporten the system kisupporten the system without asking any return. Ngomong baunatet ko kongoi werib kabanum amu kialde teta sikenyorun the system. Ko me supporten akile akoi ketilwane ak kwai nekibara amuige akitilji tiondo. Kasom ale okoiten contractors koba sang owekisi officers oribwech baunatet sokotonon serikali. Kumaokaswa noto kotobeno en konta kele kisaswech masaswok amache kotiok baunatet akokimitu from inside. Amwae ni tugul melen kamwae wasingishu kamwae kasam Kalenjin eng yemi. Angen ale makache chi komwa in what they call the conflict of interest. Yotok yemi moral values. Because when you are entrusted with a public office, you are a trustee of the people. Kasi nengo mi jine mi taban nolon na kaya boisiet ko moingen kole mi ofisa kinye kaete ne ngoret ni. Lakini magile kitigil na ba CEO ne ba CEO ne ba ina kire ka chagasina ogoite mara moja. Ba CC ba ngo ba minister ko te bole kibegu we murenju. That is internal rot and it will collapse the nation. Let us come out and be honest. Kimagareni amu konde nyoru mali amomi sabonda emet sukobananyo biikab emengung simenye emet with a sea of poor people. Make a difference in the lives of others. Ngomangu timene barab Chelilim komwoe biikab Nandi ak Wasingishu ak biikab Keyo ak biikab Tulwop konche yeme nganasani oba nibo in Eldoret. O mangu kemwoe kele kongoi nekitek Mosok ak Panan. Maonai notok Mosok ko chepyoso nemotinyei manungotiot amu kikokeskei. Panan ko lakwet nekikuren orphan. Kimache kosalak bororiet kele kongoi chekiti Mosok ak Panan en Wasingishu ole kituyechi bororiosekab Kalenjin. Kou notok Keyo, kou notok Baringo, kou notok Nandi koretab arap sang. Werin yu kongoi we bortos iyetege nebo murenik kabisa. Akoi nimbo Kipsigis ole mi Ramutai akoi in Barchog ak akot chun mi emetab Bongome kemoche biik kyok olomitei ongois baunatetab emoni asikobit konyor kainet nemie biikab Kalenjin kotatun kotakekonech en ibinwogik chebwoni. with those few remarks, may I say good night and Merry Christmas. May God bless you. Thank you, the City Spiritual Fathers.
Asante sana, makofi mazuri. Let's give a better round of applause. Thank you so much. The Honorable Bishop Emeritus, I told you it's going to be the last speech, but the greatest of all.